Hello there, friends. We've got a lot to talk about. The playoffs are about to begin, and there are only 8 teams left, and only one of them will achieve the glory. In the meantime, other teams are already making reshuffles, and they don't even want to wait for the major to be over. And some dudes charged onto the scene during the MOUZ vs G2 match and broke the trophy. That's not a joke, I will explain it all. That's some huge drama. Yeah, and we thought that Jame and his bug was the most that this major can bring. Without further ado, let's hurry to discuss it all. But first, we will start with reshuffles. It's official now, dupreeh has moved to Falcons, the Danish trio is back together. They're obviously ready to win now. I'm extremely happy for dupreeh, although he's clearly not a young talent anymore, but I think he still has something to show. And it turns out Simple's loan ends here too. He played one game for the Shakes, got some money, and went back to Navi. By the way, Navi's CEO gave an interview, and there are some very interesting details in it. First of all, they got 2 times more from Electronic and Perfecto than they paid for all the rookies of the current team. It's a perfect deal. And what will happen with Simple is not clear yet. He has 2 more years on his contract with Navi, so it won't be easy to buy him out or sell. It all depends on the results of the major. Maybe he will return to the squad, maybe he will move to another team. Again, it all depends on supply and demand. Apparently, Simple's future not only depends on his personal desires, but also on the situation on the market. So far, the most obvious option is G2. M0NESY just have to leave them, and Simple can take his place, but that's just a theory from the community. And guys, you know, as they say, there's no smoke without fire. Remember how recently m0NESY said that M0NESY will immediately move to Cloud9 if there is such an official request? And it turned out to be true. Here's what Ilya said about it.
Вообще не знаю, зачем Женя сказал это на стриме, по поводу того, что я с ним общался по поводу Cloud9. Мне это очень не понравилось, если честно. Короче, я думаю, это было неуместно, и я не знаю, зачем он это сказал.
Я вообще увидел сначала эту информацию, когда зашел на ХЛТВ, справа был топик, там, апдейт по команде Cloud9 M0NESY. Вот, я захожу такой, читаю, друг M0NESY, он сказал на стриме такое-то, такое-то. Я такой, блин, я думаю, да какой-то бредятина. Потом вижу там в CSGO News, там выставили новость, там цитату, типа, что он на стриме такое сказал. И я думал, что это фейк, но потом мне начали все люди, ребята там скидывать, там, друзья мои. Команда мне никак не отреагировала, мне Хантер скинул просто топик с ХЛТВ, но я не думаю, что все увидели из команды, вот, но я знаю, что Хантер точно увидел. Я сказал Хантеру, но я не знаю, зачем это делать.
So M0NESY really wants to go to Cloud9 and he doesn't even hide it, and apparently it's only a matter of time before it happens. m0NESY also said something else on his stream. M0NESY's contract is about to expire. G2 will have to sell him to get something out of the deal. Otherwise, he will just go freely to another org. But he can stay if G2 does well in tournaments. Guys, what do you think of this whole situation of the swap of snipers, Simple to G2 and M0NESY to Cloud9? Let me know in the comments below. And a little more about G2. According to Thorin, James Bog in that key round saved HooXi's career. Thorin says that G2 would have definitely kicked him off the team if not for making for the playoffs. So basically that's another act of pure class from Jame. What a legend. Anyways, there were also substitutions in Legacy. As you recall from our last video, called Zero left the team. He led them to the major and now he's on the bench. Not cool. Apparently the Brazilians didn't agree on something amongst themselves. But guys, hold on to your seats. The funny thing is, Stewie2K will take his place, and that's not a joke. You know, he was absent for quite some time, let's say. Now he will have to learn Portuguese, or will 4 Brazilians learn English for him? I really doubt that, to be honest. This whole situation reminds me of Glaive. Anyways, it's all super weird. We'll see what happens. And Gamer Legion also had some changes. Chaos is on the bench now. Apparently he will wait for offers after the major. As well as Gamer Legion will be looking for new interesting players, maybe young talents or something. We all know that they can find and grow them. So now guys, let's find out what happened yesterday during the G2 vs MOUZ match. Who is right, who is wrong, who is guilty, and why it happened. I'll explain. The score is 7-5 on the second map. MOUZ are coming back in full power and all motivated, and here comes a super important round, but it just won't start. The match is paused and nothing is happening on the broadcast. Then bang, the stream is cut off, we see the hole and the main screen is just showing different interviews of players. You know, just some prepared stuff to keep people interested while PGL have pauses. I initially thought it was just another PGL moment, like just another another bug, and until the PC is fixed, there will be no CS. But it turned out it wasn't about the tech at all. Some people ran out on stage and fought with security.
I think it's still a thing in my house.
What's going on?
We have the top ranking MONESY, but not an indomitable. Of course, he's right there.
Whoa!
Critical territory now. Critical territory now.
What we can see from the footage, some people tried to run on stage, they were grabbed, thrown to the ground, there's a brawl, and all the audience is just howling, while the players are in shock. It all got to the point where even the major trophy itself was broken. After about 10 minutes, it became clear that the guys who ran on stage were taken away. In fact, it all looked very strange and caused more hype than it was worth. I've watched some videos and there were literally a couple of people trying to get onto the stage somehow, and because of it all, there was such a big fuss. But why it happened? What happened behind the scenes? What did these people want to do? Well, 1 hour before the start of this scandal, one of the users of HLTV announced on the forum that he will break into the stage. Obviously, everyone thought it was just a joke and didn't even notice it and believe it. And that was basically the mistake. He kept his word. But guys, in fact, even before that, there were various hints that some aggressive people came to the arena. On the first days of the playoffs, volunteers went around the Royal Arena and handed out flyers to everyone where they addressed G2. And their claim was the same as before, if you remember. The club cooperates with the online casino website CSGO Roll. We talked about this scandal a long time ago, if you remember. The main claim was that it's a scam project which deceives people, and also G2 used M0NESY for promotions when he was underage. And basically that all of this was pure evil. These people demanded that G2 had to immediately stop cooperating with this casino. They also wanted G2 to tell the whole truth about this project, and that the CEO of G2 has to leave his post. These flyers say that they will resist in various ways until the org does what it has to. And yeah, well friends, initially all this looked like a simple anti-casino campaign. You know, a calm protest, with threats but nothing more, which will end only with the flyers and posts in socials. But as we can see, it came to real stuff. According to HLTV, exactly these guys were to penetrate the stage to draw attention to themselves. And behind it all is another online casino, CSGO Empire. Basically, it's Mafia versus Mafia here, and that's utterly disgusting. CSGO Empire's CEO confirmed that this protest was done by them, and here's what the owner of the site said. CEO of G2, I'm coming for you. G2, every one of your management, if you don't stop cooperating with CSGO Roll, I am coming after each and every one of you. As I said, scammers versus scammers, Mafia versus Mafia, unbelievable. Seriously, it was a super weird thing to do. They ran onto the stage, scared the players, disrupted the match for 20 or 30 minutes. And after all that, one of these dudes gave an interview where he explained what they were trying to do. The owner of CSGO Roll scammed me for a whole house, and they sponsor G2. He has a second website that he owns. 2 days ago they scammed everyone and shut down, thereby making millions of dollars. That's why we're protesting, and I will continue to do so until I get my house back. I'm from Finland myself, but I can't tell you how many of us there are. I don't know if there will be another try try, and how successful this one was, we'll see. I don't give a crap about people booing us because I lost my house and they're running an illegal business. Anyways, true pro players and the community didn't really appreciate such actions. JL wrote, "CSGO Empire, you pieces of crap, pointing fingers at others while doing the same." Or Sharks, for example, "Don't let these guys taint it what we've built since 20 years. These are the same type of people that are cheating in Premiere. This is not family, this is not Counter-Strike." And here's what Simple writes. "Haha, I love this. I know who's behind this and they're screwed. Funny, this is the first time something like this has happened in esports." CSGO Empire themselves are tweeting about this action. They say that they're open to any interviews, they made a hype and want to open people's eyes. Okay, bros. And yeah, mostly they're obviously criticized by the whole CS2 community. They scared M0NESY with their actions.
Отличная игра от нас. Будем продолжать в том же духе. Арена очень классная. Какой-то чувак, блядь, больной выбежал просто на сцену. Уронил кубок. Пришлось поставить техническую паузу. Если честно, выглядело очень пугающе. Но мне кажется, мы в форме. Вот эта арена. Очень классная арена.
And yeah, Hooksy said G2 will not have any fan meetings and will avoid contacting fans just simply because of the incident. They will have to take more care of their safety and will definitely not be open to the fans as before. PGL will even allocate security guards to the teams after this incident. Of course, first of all to the G2 players. Obviously, because the dude ran out on stage and shouted, "Fuck you, G2.
Getting a little slightly exciting out here, so I think we're going to go to a short break and be right back. The game goes live.
So these guys made a lot of hype, but in the end, in response, they received only hate. Almost all the community believes that this is just a sad advertising, one casino trying to crush the other by all means. Or they could possibly even both be owned by the same person, or whatever it could possibly be. And all of this is just a part of a huge marketing plan. HLTV, casters, analysts, players call to simply block these sites, forget about it and enjoy the major. The more hype we create around it, the better their PR plan is executed. And that's basically the case. What do you think about it, guys? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, I didn't like PGL's trophy, but it didn't deserve this treatment. And now let's talk a little about the major playoffs. Quarterfinals and semifinals are done. Cloud9 lost to Vitality, Spirit lost to FaZe Clan, Eternal Fire lost to Navi, but G2 won over MOUZ. There was a lot of drama in all of those matches. It's funny that Cloud9 and Team Spirit were considered favorites, but they lost so easily no one couldn't believe it. That's the major for you guys. Perfecto wrote, "No excuses. Boomich is just happy to be back in the major playoffs. And we are all waiting what will happen next. Without a sniper, it's impossible to win a major, but it's not clear if there will be reshuffles at all. Team Spirit lost to FaZe Clan. Kerrigan on his own ground is some kind of a monster, a beast. It's like the Brazilian Spirit dragged Furia forward at a major in Rio, likewise the Danish Spirit gives FaZe some incredible boost. Kerrigan himself played like he's never played before. Think about it, in the head-to-head duels, the Dane outscored Chopper 19-4, only on Vertigo 10-1 in duels. Kerrigan played like a top 10 HLTV rifler, and almost any duel he lost could have put Spirit in the semifinals, but he just didn't. Damn never. Not a single mistake. Especially at key moments. I don't know, guys, he made a deal with the devil. Everyone around said that there will be no better match than this. Even Kerrigan himself. This match is on par with the finals of the major. We proved ourselves worthy of a top 1. Brokey, though, wasn't saying much. We destroyed your pick'ems. You can't argue with that. I think 60% at least had Spirit winning. And you can't really say that they screwed up. Not at all. Such an incredible comeback from 5-12, for example. And yeah, they call it the best match of the major. With over 1 million people at peak, this game is already in the top 10 in history. This battle was watched by absolutely everyone. Donk writes, no words. Shiro is just tilted, mostly from himself. The dream was so close and immediately so far away. A demon named Kerrigan and his Face Clan got in the way. Next, 2 games left, with not much honestly to tell about except the CSGO Empire thing, 2-0 in both meetings. Na'Vi made their fans a little nervous, leading 9-2 at their peak and then deciding to give away a comeback, but it was a fake comeback. Eternal Fire gave their all to try and take the map and ended up losing in the overtimes.
Final kill here, representing the land of 1,000 legs, and we have just broken 1,000 Turkish hearts here, winning in overtime on their map pick.
Since we don't have a lot of time, just look at this wonderful, amazing ace in a very difficult situation.
Wonderful, even misses the shot, not a huge deal, but he's not missing much today.
At the moment, the orb in the back of the bomb site, and here comes trouble. All the pistols in front. Wonderful, doing whatever he can. Rams more. He cannot be stopped. He has aced them to save the day for Na'Vi.
2-0 Na'Vi are in the semifinals.
Back, but he does go down. Centaurus will fall. It's Na'Vi to bring the chaos to Copenhagen and the pain to Eternal Fire.
Next up was G2 versus MOUZ. Everyone thought that the youngsters would punish the Kovac family and avenge Virtus.pro, but they lost. They were just really unlucky with the scandal pause and other factors that very much knocked them out. On Inferno, they were trailing 1-7, then 4-11, and then they just lost trying to come back. You wouldn't believe it, but MOUZ had the game of his life. I've never seen him playing like this before, he was just soloing. Apparently the Danes really have the home buff, yesterday Kerrigan, today MOUZ. On Vertigo it was even worse, MOUZ were 0-6 down and there was no way out.
He goes around and he's got it! It is never B-roll with Brolin! The highlight reel key.
But suddenly, however, they started coming back, scored 5 in a row, the heat is on, and bang, there's this scandal with the activists. Basically, this half-an-hour pause played for G2. MOUZ just broke, they forgot about the comeback and didn't take any more rounds. Well, they took 1, and that's it. There's already a theory in the community that G2 did it on purpose to destroy the morale of MOUZ completely.
Wow! And just like that, they've managed! Divine intervention ushers them into the playoffs, and the soldiers of God march on!
And if you think about it like this, in G2 versus Virtus.pro, it's really James' game that gets blown out at the most important moment. Against MOUZ, the activists run out when they started to show something and almost made it. G2, I can get 1, but 2 in a row? There are no coincidences, right? Like they say, win at all costs. The day after the stage invasion incident, when the semifinals were already underway, PGL made all the necessary preparations. They added a double fence and put a lot of security guards. They even called in the Danish task force. It's like nothing esports has ever seen before. PGL really threw all their forces to protect the semifinals of the major. They provided the players with security, and in general, no activists from now on could have gotten onto the stage. Not even harmless fans. Unfortunately, a lot of people say that LAN tournaments will never be the same after this. Before, everyone was together as a family, you could come up to the players, say hello, take a picture and all that, but now it's like footballers behind big barriers and there is a significant separation. And actually, and sadly, PGL didn't do all this for nothing. It turned out that CSGO Empire owner announced new protest for the G2 versus Na'Vi match, and something even worked out for him. Here is what he said on his stream and what happened in real life. I will explain it all. First of all, they have been planning all these protests since the last year, May. I mean, they really have been discussing and thinking of it for almost a year. One of the guys who ran on the stage was a real felon. He had recently gotten out of jail for murder. But they weren't planning to do anything violent. Like, originally 8 people were just supposed to go on the stage and get attention. And the fact that there was some kind of a fight, they broke the trophy, that wasn't the part of the plan. The original idea was kinda different. Here's what he said word by word. I never planned to injure anyone. The worst thing I thought of was to peacefully handcuff M0NESY to myself, as a protest. But I never wanted any one of the fans to injure people. I mean, guys, he was totally serious about going through Taz, the big dude who can just take him down in 1 second. And basically, yeah, a peaceful protest. If he reached M0NESY by some miracle, he'd have been trampled by G2 fans on the spot. But as it is, they're not gonna stop. They're constantly sending threats to pro players and preparing new protests. According to them, G2 continues to cooperate with CSGO role, and they even plan to do all sorts of new commercials. And until they beat G2, they won't stop. And after that, they will switch to FaZe, as their CEO is not clean either. So, before the match between Navi and G2, the owner of CSGO Empire announced a new protest. They even recorded a video.
Again.
Killian, give me back my house. I'm coming for
Fuck
you.
you, G2. We're coming. We will never stop. This will keep happening, bitch.
After that, PGL pulled in as much security as possible to the stage. Something was brewing. While everyone was waiting for a new explosion outside or inside, one of those activists decided to handcuff himself to the fence for some reason. I mean, is he dumb or what? I guess so. Next, Monarch, that's the nickname of the owner of CSGO Empire, started a stream where he said that something's about to happen, but that something never happened, as you can guess. Eventually, he said that they were planning to run on the stage again. Yeah, right. Another 15 people were detained by the police. Monarch decided not to stop there, and according to various unconfirmed reports, they launched a DDoS attack on the PGL broadcast, causing the match to stop several times during Navi's game with G2. And you might have noticed how PGL's stream went down a couple of times and it took a few minutes to restore it. Basically, that's all that happened yesterday, because PGL were very powerfully prepared for the attacks. And yeah, it's not clear what's being prepared for the finals, and whether they are prepared at all, and will it continue at other tournaments? Only questions, no answers. And finally, friends, I will not talk really about the matches themselves, only will say that Navi played very well against G2. Alexibi does not lose to his Axis, that's already a tradition. Navi are surprisingly in a great shape and they're going to the finals, but also FaZe confidently beat Vitality, although in this situation it's more like Vitality lost to themselves. Zyvu just didn't show up for the match and he was sorely missed. And that was really unexpected, because he played really great against Cloud9. But I guess that's the way it is, guys. Today we're watching the finals, it's gonna be big, and hopefully there won't be any incidents from the Mafia. Good luck to all of you guys, and enjoy the game. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time, see you soon.